is the .NET Dev Show. Sense of MAUI. What is it? What am I doing here today? Well, it's a newsletter. So you are looking at my desktop. So every Monday, if you get onto Telerik.com/blogs, you see this newsletter go out. It's essentially a collection of 5 or so news items that relate to .NET MAUI developers and what are some things that are exciting. So I try to collect 5 pieces of news and I publish that out. This is okay. You can subscribe to it and get it every Monday, but I would rather do a push notification so you can go and get it in an app. So we are trying to dog food what we do here and build a .NET MAUI app that delivers this newsletter to you. So that's what I've been up to. There are a couple of things that are functional in the app, but I would like to maybe get better at how I'm doing some things. So let's get going on that. So Visual Studio Code, I'm on a Mac here. I also do plenty of Windows stuff, but VS Code for Mac is kind of my go-to when I'm on a Mac, and Visual Studio on Mac, that is retiring this year, so I'm making a conscious effort to do everything on VS Code, and for the most part it works. Yes, IntelliSense can be a little better. Hot Reload is coming, but it works. Let me know if the fonts are too small. Maybe I'll bump it up one time. Yep. And then, please let me know, chat room, if you need anything, zoomed in. So what you're looking at is a pretty standard .NET MAUI project. This is the standard file explorer. If you would rather have like the Visual Studio style explorer, then there is a solution explorer in here. This is just a little bit smarter, so it knows how to read the folders and the CS proj. It doesn't show you everything in your bin and OBJ directories. So it's just a little smarter. But I don't mind either way. So some things that I'm working on are, let's collapse this and go back to this. So when, let's run this first and then I'll show you what it is. So right now, if I choose, a particular view, looks like our good friends are joining. Hey, Thindle, good afternoon for you. Good to see you. I seem to have lost, and I go a couple of different ways in how I stream. I am on OBS today, but I seem like I have lost a plugin that I used to use. It's called Featured Chat. I don't know if anybody else or Thindle, if you use that. So when chat room has a chat that you want to highlight, I would be able to just click on that and just bring that in. And that doesn't seem to be working anymore, or maybe the developers is not maintaining that anymore. I'm sure there are alternatives. I just realized it a little before getting online that it's not quite working. So I don't have a way of highlighting messages in chat like I used to, but that's fine, we'll survive. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. And I'll show you what each of these things do. I'm trying to do something on this page in particular, so let's go ahead and run this. So it's running on iPhone 15 Pro Max. That's the simulator. And again, when you are working on a .NET MAUI app, yes, it's cross-platform. It's the same code base that works on iOS, Android, Mac, and Windows, but you're not deploying to every simulator, every single build. So my suggestion is to always, turn it off, the builds that you don't care about, and just focus on one platform at a time, and then you can, go back and fix things that are broken. Okay, so you come to this app, and you get a list of, issues or newsletters, and there's like 50. Oh, there's the notification coming in. Yeah, Thindle, Feature Chat seems to be discontinued. I don't know if there's an alternative. I have to ask around some of the other streamers because you don't use it. I know like Fritz used to use that, so I'm not sure what he's using. I just realized it like before getting on, so I'll figure something out. Okay, so this is coming from Azure Cosmos DB. So essentially just a list of things that, and I need to change this formatting and this layout a little bit. It's not exactly nice. It's fine on a bigger, oh, that's not going to get me anything, it's blank, because I don't have the actual issues for each one of them. But the text being side by side, I don't like it. I would like one text to be like maybe grayed out and one at the bottom, so I have a little bit more breathing space on, smaller form factors. Oh, Thindel has plans to write his own. Please do. Please do. That would be nice. And I'm sure, there are some other alternatives out there, because it's something pretty common most streamers do, but I have not used other ones. Backend console app, Blazor app for control interface, running on a tablet, Blazor app for overlay, sure. Runs via OBS web browser, sure. Blazor, all the things, nothing like it. So yeah, please do and share. Okay, so one of the things is when you come to this page, it's just showing you a list of all the sessions, and it's the same list every single time. But I would like this to be a little smarter. So, I'm already up to, if you look at the list here, I'm already up to 133 as of like last week. So it's starting to be quite a list. So when you get a push notification or a local notification in this case to say, hey, it's Monday afternoon, it's time for you to go check out a new issue, I don't want you to just come here and start with number 1, because that's going back like 2 years. I would this is like March 2021, that's when it started. I would like to scroll all the way down to the latest issue, which is what brought you in from the local notification. So I think there are a couple of ways in which I can pull this off. So let's close this. So just so you know, the list that you're seeing here, that is a Telerik list view. It's a rad list view coming from the Telerik .NET MAUI suite. You could use the collection view. I'm essentially not doing anything fancy here, but I will utilize some of the features of the list view. So it's just a bit on steroids. It knows how to do some things, and then that's the horizontal stack that I might actually replace it with some vertical stuff as well. But what I was curious is, if I look at the docs, docs.telerik.com, and if I head down to this, the MAUI suite, these are all the controls that we have. If I go look at the list view in particular, scrolling, yeah. So if I look at the scrolling features of the list view, it's very smart to do like virtualization automatically. So you should not, but if you give it like 100,000 records and you're binding it to the UI, it will still scroll because it tries to bind to like chunks of UI at a time, not the whole 100,000 records. So it's pretty smart. It automatically shows you a vertical scroll bar, but this part here, programmatic scrolling, maybe the text is too small. So what this one does is it allows you to forcibly scroll the list view down or up so that a particular item is always in the middle, or it's in the visible stack. I wish we had an API that says just scroll down to the last one, which I think like grids and other things have it. This one doesn't yet. And actually we are in the process of redoing this UI a little bit, so it might eventually have it, but as of now it doesn't. So, but this works. Essentially it takes in an item that it's bound to from that collection, and it can just go to that one item. So if I look at the demo here, what it's doing is it's a view model, blah, blah, blah. And here, there's a button that says scroll item into view. And when you click on that button, it's picking a random number and then grabbing all of the items that the list view is bound to and going to that random number count -1. Oh, I see. Like, so it's getting the full count of, like, if there are 100 items, it's getting like 99 because like the array index starts from 0, and it's going to that particular view, and it's kind of highlighting and it's saying, hey, I've scrolled to item number 12 in this case. So I want to give that a try because when you come in from a notification, excuse me, if you're coming in from a new launch of the app, that's fine. But if you come in from a notification, I want to take you down to where you might see things. So let's give that a try and see how that works. So I have my list view here. This is that. So this is where I fetch, and I know there are purists probably amongst you who are looking at the new view model. I should not be doing that. I'm very aware. All of dependency injection is built right in, but I'm just trying to get things to work first, and then I'll clean up. As what every developer says, right? Let me just get things to work, then I'll refactor later on and clean up. But let's try to get this to work. So here's the fetch and bind, and I'm getting it an item source, and it's doing that. So let's look at the API here. So it's off the list for you, scroll to item, and then it takes an actual item. Okay, so how about we do this in here just to give it a try. So if I do Sansa MAUI issue list dot, there's the thing, scroll to item. I wish it will just take a number, but it takes the whole thing, which is fine. Thindel is saying what we were talking about with the overlays, it's already up on GitHub. Yeah, you can steal everything you want. I'm good at stealing. Okay, all right, I'll take a look. I will take a look. Okay, so that's the API, but I got to give it a specific one. So that's coming from the view model. That's my whole list of issues. And let's just say I want to go to the 20th one. Will that work? So when this list of issue gets populated, and this, by the way, could be coming either from Azure Cosmos DB or it's a local database. Hey, Full Schnabel is here. Sam is back and his yellow tilted screen. Yeah, I'm getting old. I like my blue color protection. Yeah, I don't know if it's like, so what it is, it's, what's it called? It's an Elgato video card. I'm not doing anything else to it. It's just a straight feed from my desktop into that card, and it just shows up a little bit yellow, which I don't know why. Okay, maybe it's better for your eyes that way, if you will. Okay, so let's see if this will work. So this list of issues, this is essentially coming from this view model. So if I look at the list view model here, it's Apple. They know what's best for you. Yes, Apple knows what's better for you than you know yourself, right? So this is the list view model, and what it says is, okay, I'm going to check on a preference. That's just a key value pair, and it's saved to disk on iOS, Android, whatever. So if I do have it in the database, then I get it from the database. There is a database service that rehydrates that list back. If not, it's like a fresh run. Then we go to the cloud service. There's my Cosmos service, get the issue list, and then off we go. So let's try this. So in this case, we are saying bind it, but then scroll to that 20th one. Let's see if this will work. Apple knows what's best for you, and Google knows what ads I love to see and show them to me all the time. Yes, yeah. That's the whole business. That's the whole business. Targeted ads. In fact, I think Full Schnabel was on a show that we had started. I saw you watching the other day. So I normally stream in the mornings, East Coast time, which is mid-afternoon for Europe, but it's kind of too early for West Coast of the Americas. So we have started a new show on Monday afternoons, like 3 to 4 Eastern time, where we go a little later, but we get to see some West Coast audiences, and it's a show all about digital experiences and what's marketing's got to do with this, what's developers stake in it. So targeting things based on personas, it's an art, and you need to have the right tools, the right software that does it. So when you're on the receiving side of it as a consumer, you can kind of get a little bothered with it, but what they're doing, like with your data. They're just mining it, trying to put you into certain buckets, so those ads make the most sense to you. Okay, anyways, let's just scroll to 20. So this time around, when I run it, it should not stay up on the 1, and I've never actually done this, so I don't know how this will work. So let's try. We don't need debugging. Let's just scroll. Yeah, they set it to the highest bidder. Online casinos, yeah. All right, let's see what experience is like. Oh, it did something. Okay, that's good. So the list in this case has 50 items, no more, because that's the whole list. I don't have all of the issues in there. So you notice that I said go to 20, and there is the notification. We'll deal with that later. So I said bring 20 to view, and it's kind of positioning it somewhere towards the bottom. I don't care where it is, as long as it's in the viewable thing. So it did scroll. So that's 1. It didn't stick to 1, and it didn't scroll all the way down. So it kind of brought 20. I wish it was like 20 somewhere in the middle, but it's probably too much math for it to figure out. But it is bringing it to view. And maybe we'll add an API where it just scrolls all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so this is functional. So that's good. Now, let me show you what happens. So that notification that you see, where is that? That is coming because of a local notification. So when the app starts up, and I can move this around eventually, here's what I do. And this is a little bit of, C# code that does some math here to get things done. So what I want is, I don't need to send a true cloud push notification, because this is not so much of smartness. That it's not like a news item that's updating 5 times a day. I know exactly when these issues go live, and that's Monday. Sometimes mid-morning, sometimes a little later, but like by noon, mostly if it's scheduled to go live, it is live. So what I want to do is every noon, based on your time zone and the day of the week or whenever it is that you are launching this app, as you launch this app, I want to do a little bit of this math. So first up, you're going to see, hey, local notification it needs to be enabled. If you don't, then iOS or Android are going to give you that pop-up to say, hey, this app wants to send you notifications. Do you accept? Yes or no? If you do accept, then I try to get the publication time and set up, schedule a notification to go out that or the next Monday afternoon. So here's my math. I'll get the publication time, and that happens to be like a 12-hour thing because I want it to be at noon. Today is date time today. Days until Monday. So essentially, Monday minus the day of the week divided by 7. That gets you, like if it's Tuesday, then you got 6 more days until Monday. If it's Wednesday, you got 5 more days. Like, you get the idea. And then we are going to add the days and we are going to add the time, and that is my next notification time. So this is the notification that you see. The schedule, it's meant to be on the next notification, but here I'm just hard coding it to be like 15 seconds. So that's the notification that you see. You need to update this example. Which example? Yeah, let me know. It's not Monday, it's Thursday. Oh. Well, no, so Thindle, I do want it to be on Monday, not Thursdays. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, yeah. So I do want the notification to be on Mondays. So this one here, I'm hard coding it to be 15 just so I see the notification, yeah. I wrote it before you said released on Monday. Yes, thank you. But here's the thing that you get. When you tap on that notification, even when the app is not running, you get to respond to this event handler on notification tapped. And you can bring in some parameters if you wanted. What happened to my guitar music? It just stopped. There you go. This is a jazz station. We'll see how that works out. And in here, I am setting this issue list to be to false. Oh! I was doing this because when this flag is set, and based on the view model. So if I look at the view model here, when this flag is set, I am not going to go to the cloud because I have it local. It's already cached, and I'm just going to hide it from the cache. But when you tap on that notification, it means that a new issue is out. So I want to invalidate that flag. So I don't get it from my database. I rather get it from my Cosmos service. So that's why I was doing it. So in the appxaml.cs, I set that to false forcibly. So when the view model kicks in, it's actually going to go to the cloud. But we want to do a little bit more here. So let's do this. when you tap, we're going to set another thing here. App launched from notification. If I can type. Okay, so one more flag I'm setting because I need to know if you're coming from the notification or not. Because this flag alone is not enough, because I could have this when you are launching the app for the first time, like ever. So I don't have the issues the issues in the DB. So I can't go off that. So let's set another flag. App launched from notification is set to false. No, actually it needs to be set to true. All right. So now that I know that you're coming in from the notification, I can take extra actions, right? So here is the thing. Now let's go look at the list view model. So that was a Boolean, and yeah, maybe it belongs in the fetch data itself. Maybe it doesn't belong in the view, just for clear differentiation of concerns. So let the view just do a bind, but I would need access to this, so maybe it does belong in the view a little bit. Okay, let's try this. So in here we're going to do, on the fetch and bind, we're going to do a Boolean that says coming from, yeah, let's just call it the same name. What was the name? App launched. App launched from notification. Preferences, get this. Default is false. That's fine. So when I come back inside the view, I'm going to read that flag again to see that this is just the default get. I think, yeah, the get string key and then bool default value. That's what it is. So I want to read what that is that's been written out. And then we can do if now we'll add a little smartness to this in a bit, because we need to know which one is the last one. And I don't know if I can actually debug this, because once the app stops, I have to still tap on that. So we'll see. Okay, so should this belong in the view? Maybe, because like the list views object is in this view and we are doing a scroll on it. Maybe let's get this to work first, then we can try moving things around. Okay, what have I done so far? I'm just reading that and I'm forcibly moving it there. And the app is not running. Well, let's actually delete this app. Remove, go away, gone. So now when I come back in, it's going to ask for the notification, and then the first time around it is going to not find this and not do this, but then on a notification it should. Okay, let's give it a try. Don't need debugging because my code always works, right? Okay, the splash screen doesn't show, but that's a different problem. Okay, allow fetching that and go away. So the app is still running. It's not been killed, but it's just not in the foreground. So I don't need a background task, but I just need that thing to be launched. There's the app, and it did not work. So what I was trying to do is, like, I tapped on that notification and it should have set that to true. Did we not do that? We set that to true. But what did we do? Set it to true, and then when you tap on it, it should have. Wait, is this thing not firing? App launch for notification true. Can I debug this? I should be able to. And then we'll put a breakpoint here. Run with that. No, I wanted debugging. Sorry. Cancel. It is still running, that's why. All right, hold on. So we are going to go ahead and not uninstall, but just kill the app there. And now, start. It's thinking. Okay, there it is. So first up, it's launching this. Now this is false. Fine. Yeah, that's what we want. Yep. So go away. And there's the app. And now if I tap on it, oh, it's not firing. So I tapped on the notification, it's not firing. Why not? Hold on. We gotta find out why it's not. Stop. So this is local notification, plugin.local notification. That's what I'm using. It is by a few folks, but this gentleman here, Thurugala, Elvin Thurugala, has this nice plugin here that works for iOS and Android. Not quite Windows or Mac yet, or maybe it does. Platform support, yeah, he's got this nicely listed up here. Yeah, I'm doing iOS, so greater than 10, that's all good. Screen recording of that. There's Gerald making those videos. .NET MAUI setup. I have that. Use local notification. Am I doing that? Go back here. MAUI program.cs. Yeah, I got that. Then show local notification. That's all the show. There it is. Receive tap event on the app. Oh, I never wired it up. God damn it. It needs to be wired up. Okay. Because I have an event, but it never got wired up. Now he's doing it on the app itself. That's fine. App XAML main page, blah, blah, blah. Schedule notifications. We do this. All right. Now what? Local notification center. I already have this. Current.notification action tapped. Yeah. Do I need this? Because I have this local notification center in my global usings. This, by the way, folks, is a nice way of organizing and not having clutter. So this is a C#11 thing that's got nothing to do with MAUI, but I like putting things in a global using file so I don't have to ever have a using statement in any of my, local files. Maybe it does need it. So local notification center, current, blah, blah, blah. And this is the check whether notifications are enabled or not. And then we hit this. Okay. All right. That should fix it, hopefully. All right. Let's run this again. And it'll help if I read documentation, right? Ta-da. We're just too quick to code. Who cares to read? This is a weird thing. If you notice, I am not actually getting the splash screen, but that's a different problem. Okay, this is false. Fine. Go. And show me the notification. There it is. Tap on that. There it is. Okay, here we go. So we set that to false, and that is now set to false or true. And go play. And oh, it didn't actually paint the next page because you're already on the view. So this is not a good example. Okay. We can redo that. stop debugging, and I don't need this anymore because we know that's being hit when I tap on that. And then what we want to do is, yeah, keep that breakpoint on. Start again. Come on, it's thinking. There it is. It is, oh, see, now it is true because I set that on the last visit. So which is fine. This is all that we need. So if that does become true, then we come in here and we scroll there. And there's the view again. And so now it's bringing number 20 in. Okay, so this will work because I am setting that flag and you will know. But will it do it if I just bail out of it and then come back? Even if the app is running, will it scroll that? Let's try that one time. So we're going to stop that again and run this one more time. So what I was trying to do is, what if the app launches, I'm looking at the view screen and immediately go out and come back in. This one here is true. Well, yeah, no, that's fine. And at this point, we're going to go back in here. The app is not in the foreground. Tap on that. Okay, so now the page has already rendered. We are not re-triggering another draw of the page, which is fine. Like if you come to this page, you are still going to see that flag and it's going to come back up. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. This will work. So let's stop and actually make this do something and not go to randomly 20. So what we want to do is, since I don't have a scroll to the last one, I want to go to the last-ish thing. What we can do is just read the count of this, because that is my collection. Dot count -1. Does that work? So what I'm asking it to do is just you know what, I'm not resetting that flag back, so it's always going to stay true. This flag, I need to set it back to false. So you came in from the notification, I scrolled you to the last one, and we're going to set this back. So on subsequent visits, you don't get to see the same, flag is not set. Okay, so we are going to scroll. It's going to go off this list, read the count of the list. Let's say in this case, I have 50 items. So that count is going to be 50 -1, 49. So go to issue number 49 is what I'm telling it to do. So in this case, it's just going to go to the last one and bring that to view. Let's run it and see if it brings number 50 into view. You don't need to debug on this one. And then once it does, it should reset that back. Ah, there it is. Aha. Okay. Good. This is working. Oops. Tap too quick. See that number 50? So it did scroll all the way down, which is exactly what I want. So when I send you a notification, I want you to read the latest issue that's out. So it's going to scroll down here and not bring you all the way up here. So that's perfect. And just to make sure that this is not happening on every run, let's kill the app once and relaunch it to make sure that flag got set right. So relaunch it. Now it should be from the database and it's quick and it's up on number 1. Okay, perfect. Isn't it nice when things just work? Yeah. Chat room, let me know if this was fun for you to see. It is very simple, just to hook it up and see if it's working. Okay, now this view. Oh, and while I have you folks here watching, maybe I can ask a question, because there are folks amongst you who are probably doing MAUI. I don't know why the splash screen is blank. That's a weird thing that I'm noticing. So the splash screen is all set up. Let's go ahead and stop this. So if anybody knows, please do let me know. So the way splash screens work in MAUI is actually pretty smart. In my resources folder, so everything is shared. This is a truly a single project solution. So everything that can be shared, it is trying to share. So that includes fonts, images. So you notice like all of my images, these are all images that are shared across iOS, Android, Windows. And then it has icons, and then this splash screen here, that is the app splash screen. Like that is supposed to be my splash screen as the first page of the app is getting bootstrapped and coming into view. So it's supposed to show that, and it's a PNG, or it's better if it's an SVG, but PNG should also work. So in CSproj, what I have here is just one line of code, and that's how it's supposed to work. MAUI splash screen, so it's marked as a special file included in the build, and I'm including that, giving it a base size so it knows how to resize. There's that image resizer built into .NET MAUI, so it will scale the image up and down based on what iOS needs or Android needs, but it's not showing for some reason. It's just showing me black. I don't know what I did wrong to make it angry, but it's just showing black. So if anybody knows, please let me know if you have any ideas on how I can make the splash screens to show up. It's not showing for me. The other ones do, like if I, this was a MAUI Hello app. I don't know if I haven't touched it in a while. Oh, maybe it's a simulator thing. Even this one is blank. Yeah, like even this one didn't show the simulator. I am doing it right, I think. It's just not showing it for some reason in the simulators. So I can try it on a device and see if it works better. We'll see. Okay, that's that. And then the next thing, this is nice actually. I'm glad how easy it was to just wire this up and automatically scroll it down. That's nice. And this one is all fine. The other thing I want to do is on this view, if I look at the XAML here, and this is where sometimes I get into trouble, because this is the nuances of knowing your layouts and knowing your pixels really well, and I sometimes cannot do it a nice way. So I don't want this all to be in the same line. So it's a list view, and I'm setting the data template, item template on it, and inside of it is a templated view. So if I notice, if I look at this one here, if I look at the cells and the ways in which this can be rendered, this is too simplistic. Like if you set it to a text cell, it's essentially one title and then one little detail that's in gray. I want it to be a little bit more. I have an image in there, so this doesn't work for me. What I'm using is the template cell. And this one, this one's using, there's the template cell, and this one's using a grid, which might be an overkill because it's pretty simple, but we'll see. And inside of it is a horizontal stack. So this one has like two rows essentially, one with the image and the label, and the next one is just two labels, I think. So let's take a look. Yeah, this one has the image and the label, and then one for like who wrote that book. Let's try a double line thing, because this is looking a little bit flat. So let's see what we have done. So we have done a item length, vertical spacing, that's fine. But here it's all in one horizontal line. Let's see what I'm going to break if I do this. If I do a vertical, where is that? Horizontal stack layout. Where's my vertical stack layout? It's not auto-completing for some reason. What did I break? Alright, we'll see. That's a thing, right? Vertical stack layout. Why is it not giving me any IntelliSense? And just to make sure, MAUI, where's the vertical stack layout? Yeah, just lay down things vertically like that, rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. That should all work. Yeah, so that is how you set it up. Now there's margin and spacing and other things we can do, but let's just see. Okay, so in that vertical stack layout, so the first thing I want are, or rather, two things. Let's do one horizontal in here. And let's copy this. And that. So we're going to copy this whole thing and move it inside of that. Okay. And we want these two labels, which is the published thing, to be brought down here. Okay, how about this? And this is not formatted right. This we can move it in. Okay. So I have to pad it a little bit. That I can do in a minute. So essentially what we did, Fulschnabel is asking, so what did Ed tell you about Sweetag? How do you say it? Sweetag. I haven't talked to him much, but what Fulschnabel, I think Thindel was also there. You folks are, well, Ful is from Norway, Thindel is from Sweden. What they're talking about is this one here that happened 2 weeks back or 1 week back. I missed out. I have been there last 2 years. Wonderful conference in Stockholm, Sweden, and I haven't talked too much about this with Ed, but he was happy. He said, you know, a couple of things that he mentioned was it was all good. He enjoyed it. I do not know any other details, but you know, Fulschnabel, what am I missing out? Anything fun? Anything interesting that happened? Let us know in the comments. Okay, where was I? So I think some things are going to break the moment I do this, but let's try. So what I changed was, instead of one horizontal stack, which is going to stack everything like this, I said, no, give me one vertical and then 2 horizontals. Oh, I can see the sun kind of peeking through my windows here. It's going to mess up my lighting, but that's fine. We'll live. We are our friends here. Is this going to work? I have an image with a certain margin, height request, width request, and then a published date. Okay, let's see if this will work and what we have broken. It's gonna come up here. Moment of truth. Oh no, that looks horrible. But it shows at least. Yeah. So now I got 2 lines here. So the image is fine, but it's centered around the first text, which maybe is fine to do. But then this published thing has no idea that there is an image up on top of it, so I need to just, you know, give it a whack and move it over to the right. I haven't got into styling this yet. Maybe I want that published thing to be in gray, just to make a distinction, and I can use some different fonts, so make things bigger, bolder, but this is fine. Let me just look through the list. It's fine the way it's rendering, but we can do better. So let's close that. Stop. Okay, on this label, should I move the whole stack to the left a little bit? Maybe. The moment I do margin, if I go back here, should I be doing margin or spacing? Because they mean different things. Spacing is the spacing of a certain child component inside of the parent, while margin is from the outside. And then there's one other thing, like padding. Margin is from the outside, padding is from the inside, and then I don't know how padding and spacing are different these days with MAUI. Position. Let's just try a margin and see what it does. But I think like I can also do the whole left, right, front, center, or left, right, up, down for full dimensions of that. So let's see what I can do. On this horizontal layout, what if we added a margin of, I think if I do a 20, then it does it for all around. So it's going to give you 20 on the left, 20 on the right, 20 on the top, 20 at the bottom, which might be too much. But let's take a look. Now this is where it really hurts to not have hot reload, so I can go complain again to Maddie Montequilla. She's my good friend, but I love to complain, as we all do, right? It's coming. They were looking at it, because I should not have to relaunch the app just because I'm working on a certain XAML view. I can just keep the app going and work on it. This is fine in Visual Studio, not so much in VS Code. And that completely broke it, because now it has no space to render that thing. Okay, all right. Stop. Maybe I need to do this. If I did this, then so what these 4 things mean is how much margin do you need on the left, top, right, bottom, if I'm remembering it right. So let's see. And maybe I should not be doing it on the horizontal stack. Maybe I should do it on this label itself, but let's give it a try. Oh, I have a internal work thing at the top of the hour, so I got 9 more minutes. Okay, better, but not quite. So we scooched over this published thing, and it still shows I didn't mess up anything else like the other one. Okay, so this might work if I just go away. If I just move this over a little bit more, but the trouble is, I'm doing it kind of absolute, maybe not absolute pixels, but it's like 20 units from the left. What's Fulchnavel saying? There's no margins for the errors. There are no margins for errors. Come on. I can always mess things up, and you can all laugh at me. There's plenty of margin. You're all our friends. This might work. It's okay. So stop that. What if I made that scooch over to 40? And then still everything else remains the same. Now this margin, why is there a margin here? Maybe I don't need this. It's doing a margin 10 on the left. I don't need that anymore. But, well, maybe I need a margin on the other side of that. Let's see how this works. This is painful to start the app every single time. This is where, like, I actually have a iPad as my second screen. I do have a big external monitor, but it takes a lot of pixels to drive. So I have an iPad, and I use what's called Apple's Sidecar. So it uses it as a second display, and I can keep the simulator stacked onto that iPad when I'm just, in my dev mode at home. It doesn't have touch in that mode, even though an iPad does support touch, but it's being used as an extension. Then it's not so bad, because then in Visual Studio proper, in Windows or in Mac, you used to be able to just keep that simulator on one side and then be able to not, or not having to touch that, and just keep churning on your XAML on certain views. Okay, so this isn't bad. It can move more. I want that published thing maybe right under the sans. And it's still not lined up right, because this image is centered around the text of this one. Maybe that's not so bad. I just need to move it more. So maybe 70. Let's do that 70, and then I'm not going to do a margin here on the inside because I already have that. No, it is already running, so we can stop that and start another one. There. Okay, not bad. A lot of white space here, especially on a high density screen like the Pro Max, but I have it lined up actually perfectly here, and I don't mind the image being centered up top. I can make the second line to be gray. Okay, so the reason this is and the moment I make the fonts a little bigger, that's a font thing, then it will eat up a little bit more of the space. And the reason I did that is because if I switch up the device, like let's just do something that's a shorter density or a smaller density, iPhone 15, right? That is a much smaller screen, and this one will already, eat into that. So Max is the most resolution one. See, this is iPhone 15. So it will look a little better here on a smaller screen. Yeah, kind of. And I think if I make the fonts a little bigger and maybe, italicize the second line or make it gray, it might start looking better and, take up a little bit more of the space. So I can do all of that. Yeah, but this is fine. It's functional for now. Yep. All right. I got 4 minutes. 4 minutes before I have to run. What else can I get done? So we did a little bit of the layout. I am particularly happy that this automatic scrolling, the programmatic scrolling is working. I don't know what the deal is with my splash screens and why it never shows up. It's not particular to this app. It's just on the simulators. It's just not showing up. The app icons are fine, but not the thing. And I have tried, blowing away the bin and the OBJ, and it still doesn't. Actually, let's take a look what it's doing. So here's the app. If I look at this and then bin, debug, that's the .NET 8 iOS target. And this, by the way, folks, if you are noticing just one thing, that's because I am building for one thing. So if I look at my CS Proj here, these are all the target frameworks. So you could do Android, you could do Windows, you could do Mac Catalyst, but I have all of it turned off. So the moment you do a build with all of it, you're going to see folders, and that's why the builds take a little bit longer, because you're building it for every framework, every platform that it supports. So when you're just doing your inner dev loop, you don't care about everything, just turn it off. Yeah, and I think once I am ready to push this app to the stores, I might also still do it one at a time. So I will push first to iOS, make sure everything is good, then to Android, and so on. And there are a lot more things to get done before that. There's app packaging, app signing, all that fun stuff. And then if I have to get really fancy, I can automate certain things. So I can just, and all of this code will go up on GitHub. So what I would eventually want to do is have a CI/CD pipeline, so I can do a push to GitHub, and then it has the whole flow to go do the build and grab the app package and push it out to the stores without me doing much. And my good friend Lance McCarthy is actually really good at that DevOps stuff. So I'm going to tap into him and kind of try to learn a few things from him. Okay, so we did a couple of things. I don't think I can start anything new, but the layout thing, that sounds fine. Foolish Nabble, you didn't tell me what happened at Sweatag, if there were some secrets to be spilled. I would love to know. I am hoping to be back next year. I just had some family things this February that I couldn't travel much for. But hopefully next year, if they will have me, I will love to submit and get back. Yeah, it's a good conference. All right, let's recap what we did. It's a Sands of Maui app. It's meant to be a companion app that shows you the newsletter without you having to go get the newsletter or have the newsletter delivered to you in an email. And we all know how we are with emails. We don't read the emails. We should be able to just get into this app and get the views. When you get a notification on every Monday, we can also scroll you to the last view, or to the view that has the last issue, so you can get to it quicker. Thanks again for hanging out with me. I think that's the show. we will see you next stream. So be well, be productive, and we'll see you around. Okay, bye bye.